Milk is a staple in most people's diet, but with the rise of plant-based alternatives, people are wondering which milk has the best health benefits. In this video, I'll be comparing soy milk to cow's milk in terms of calcium content and absorption, hormones, as well as protein content. Let's look into calcium. When it comes to calcium, cow's milk is usually the go-to source. Soybeans have calcium on their own. However, soy milk is also usually fortified to match the levels of calcium of cow's milk. Now the question that remains is the calcium from soy milk well absorbed in the body? And it turns out yes. Studies find that the absorption of calcium from soy milk is very similar to the one of cow's milk. However, for optimal absorption, it's important that you shake your bottle of soy milk very well because the calcium usually settles down. So make sure to give it a good shake before you pour it into your cereals or into your coffee. Now let's look into protein. If we look at the protein levels of soy milk compared to cow's milk, it's very similar. However, dairy milk is considered to be a complete protein as it has all of the amino acids in very similar quantities, whereas plant protein, such as soy, is considered incomplete as it has a different variation of the amino acids. I looked into this a little bit more, and the belief that plant protein is inferior to animal-based protein is based on a study done over 100 years ago on rats, because they tested how well rats grow on plant protein. And it turns out rats don't grow well at all on plant protein. But rats also don't grow very well on human breast milk, which is obviously something that babies thrive on. The reason for that could be that rat's milk also has 10 times more protein than human breast milk, and they also grow much faster and reach adolescence quicker than human babies. Something that most people are not aware of is that our body actually has a way of making sure that we get all the amino acids that our body needs, even if we don't consume all the essential amino acids every single day. We have pools of free amino acids and a recycling program where our body constantly breaks down and reassembles protein in our bodies. Around 90 grams of protein are dumped into our digestive tract from our own body, so our body can use and break down and rearrange amino acids to whatever quantity it needs. Researchers conclude that it's hard to design a whole plant food diet that is sufficient in calories but insufficient in protein. As a result, people who follow a plant-based diet, if they consume soy milk or don't consume soy milk, don't have to worry about amino acid imbalances if they eat sufficient calories for their bodies. Now let's talk about hormones, because that is the most talked about subject when it comes to soy milk and when it comes to cow's milk. All animal-based foods contain hormones, with dairy being the main source of hormonal exposure in our diet. Modern-day dairy cows, like the Holstein, which is the most common black and white cow, are genetically improved to lactate throughout the whole pregnancy, which makes them lactate around 305 days throughout the year, causing high levels of estrogen and progesterone going into commercial milk. During the first 8 months of pregnancy, a cow's hormones in the milk increase 20-fold. However, it's still only a tiny amount of estrogen, which is 10 to 20 times less the levels in birth control pills. That raises the question, does this tiny amount of estrogen actually influence the human body when we drink the milk? Well, let's look at some studies. Here are the average levels of 3 different estrogen and progesterone metabolite flowing through the bodies of 7 men, as you can see in the green bar, who then proceeded to drink about a liter of milk, and within hours the hormone levels shot up, what you can see in the black bar. The researchers also looked at the impact of milk on the hormone levels of 6 school children. The average age was 8. The green bar here demonstrates the hormone levels before drinking about 2 cups of milk, and then after. Within hours, their levels shot up, tripling and even quadrupling their baseline hormone levels. But doesn't soy also have estrogen? Well, not quite. Soy has isoflavones, which is a class of phytoestrogens, which is a plant-derived compound that has estrogenic activity. Well, what does that mean? Phytoestrogen are often thought to raise estrogen levels in the body, when in fact they act as an inhibitor of estrogen, as they link to the same receptor cells than estrogen does, effectively blocking estrogen receptors in the body. Well, that maybe sound bad at first, but it's important to consider that high estrogen levels are thought of to be a risk factor for breast cancer, endometrial cancer, which is the inner lining of the uterus, as well as prostate cancer. Current evidence suggests that soy products can even play a key role in modulating the body's estrogen levels. For example, soy products have shown to reduce hot flashes in menopausal women. Ultimately, the type of milk you want to consume is based on your own personal preferences, but this comparison has shown that soy milk can be a healthy alternative as it has the same levels of calcium and the same levels of protein, and with the phytoestrogen aspect in soy milk, you might even get beneficial effects, whereas with the hormonal effects of milk, you might raise your risk of certain cancers. So which milk do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. And if you're currently trying to lose weight, check out this video where I'll go through 5 foods to avoid this year so you can lose weight easily. And subscribe if you're interested in learning more about foods that can help you live a happier, healthier life powered by evidence-based nutrition.